Welcome to my podcast, Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. I'm so excited you are here. You'll hear some incredible stories about how people are serving around the world, how they overcame a struggle, how they serve. These shows will give you an edge in business and your personal life. I believe serving over sales will help you grow in so many ways. And now, about our incredible sponsor, Info. Info is a web app that puts your business on people's cell phones when you meet people online or in person. They can engage with your business or send out referrals with a button click, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The power of business is connecting with more people. Remember, your network is your net worth. Info will do this for you. I would love to help spread the word about these shows, so please subscribe to this podcast and find us on all your podcast platforms. Please share with anyone you know who could benefit from our shows. Please enjoy the show. Welcome, everybody, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. And I truly have a guy with the same name as me, but I think he's much better than me, much better looking. But this guy is a true servant, faith-driven. And Stephen, I'm so happy having your show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
This is going to be fun. Let's start at the beginning. We've talked about before when we've met. What got you all started with all this?
So my story really starts back in 2017. I was getting out of the Marine Corps, and at the end of every person's enlistment, whether it's 4, 7, 20 years or whatever, you have a choice. You can either re-enlist, you can get out, or you can lateral move. And that's what I decided to do, was do a lat move. And for civilians, what a lat move is basically you move from HR to marketing, right? You change jobs. It's similar. You're still in the same company, but you're changing job titles and you're changing your position, basically. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to move into criminal investigations. That was always my passion. I wanted to work for the DEA, FBI. I wanted to go into federal law enforcement, which is why I went into the Marine Corps initially. And then while I was in, I got my bachelor's degree. I got my, I got all my check marks and everything from all these different branches that endorsed me and everything. I was like, cool. So now I'm ready to move into criminal investigations, work at NCIS. This is going to be awesome. The problem is they do a physical evaluation and a mental evaluation unlike anything else. And from my time in the Marine Corps, I figured out that I was broken. I was missing discs from my back, was walking around on a broken foot, had a lot of mental problems. It was just not a good fit. And so the Lord had other plans for me and quickly said, you cannot be in the military anymore. We're going to process you out. But instead of processing you out the right way, we're going to give you 72 hours notice to get out. So I was a stereotypical homeless veteran, lost everything, didn't have an idea what to do, where to go, nothing. So I scraped and clawed my way back to civilization. And that's really where my story started, was from that deep, dark pit of cluelessness, unpreparedness, and an unfortunate turn of events in my military career.
That's a pivot. That's a huge pivot. What did you learn from all that?
More than anything, I learned, one, that the military does prepare you to be homeless. That's a joke amongst a lot of veterans. We always ask, what did our military service give us? Aside from, anxiety, depression, like all these other things, what did it give us? It gave us a solid foundation for being homeless because you're resourceful. So more than anything else, I learned how to be resourceful with what you already have.
Big. That's really big. Let's talk about where you are now, what you're doing, and it's exciting. I can't wait for the audience to hear what you're doing. Let's talk about that.
So a little bit more about what I'm doing currently. I currently own Network in Action operating across Ohio. So we have groups all across Ohio, from Cleveland, Toledo, Akron, Columbus, Cincinnati, Dayton, you name it. We're in all the major cities, and we're connecting local businesses together so we can build relationships that last a lifetime. And it's more than just your average networking group, because networking groups are phenomenal. Yeah. If you're looking to pass a card, get a referral, and do some business, phenomenal organizations. Network in Action is a little bit different. And we're a little bit different, not only because we're obviously individually owned, operated, and all that good stuff. But we're a little bit different because we focus more holistically on the networking approach. So we focus on personal development, professional development. We focus on networking to build relationships, not networking to get referrals. So we focus on things very differently. Our approach is very different. And every single person that comes out and visits one of our events, the number one thing they say is, I have never experienced an event like this in my entire life. Sometimes they like it, sometimes it's not a good fit, and that's fine. But for me, that real honor comes from when they say, I've never experienced anything like this in my life. To me, that means that we're doing something different and we're starting to make an impact in these communities.
How long have you been running this group?
Going on over a year now, actually.
So you probably have some great testimonies, stories that you could tell.
Absolutely. One person was with a networking organization for the last 10 years. Technically, they're still part of that networking organization. It's provided a lot of referrals and everything for them, but their testimony, everything can be found on our YouTube channel. Their testimony told us that in the last 6 months of them being part of Network in Action, they have closed more business and they've built more relationships with more people in the last 6 months than they have over a decade of being with this one networking organization. And again, to me, I just think that's so incredible because that speaks to what we're doing and the impact we're having.
Love that, Stephen. And here's what I'm going to talk about is people are going to focus on all the sales she had. To me, and I know you're exactly right. We've talked about this before. The building relationships is number one, the after effect, and serving those relationships with referrals, with help, with resources, which is doing business with a servant's heart. It's what I love about you. You teach that. It got her sales, but guess what? It's going to get her more sales. Whatever that number is, we don't know. God is the only one that knows. But she's doing it the right way. And they're going to stick with her if she has clients that kind of product or service that they stay with you because you've given them value, but you've served with that value. Right? You give the greatest product in the world, jump in your networking group, and there's no service, no serving. What happens?
And that's one of the coolest things I love about what we're doing, because on LinkedIn, I'll see people from the groups, whether they're guests or whether they're members. I will see pictures of them in the coming weeks actually doing community service projects, one of which was the Dayton Library. I connected to three individuals that would have never met, right, in a normal situation. I mean, they haven't met to date, right? But they came to a meeting, they were able to connect, they were able to build a relationship, find a way to actually partner and help each other, not for money. I think that's the coolest part. None of them made money on this deal, right, on this little project that they did, but it had an impact in the community for the children of this Dayton Library. That, when I saw that, I'm pretty tough. But that brought a little tear to my eye, because I'm like, you know what? That's the impact that I'm having. That's what I want to be remembered for. Yeah, I've grown these businesses and everything. That's awesome. You can do a lot of good when you make a lot of money. 100% all for that. But to see relationships and friendships being built, to find ways to collaborate outside of the networking experience, that's what it's all about.
Complete game changer. And you believe when you go out and serve just like they did, something's going to happen to their business positively, whether it's a sale, a huge referral, a door open somewhere, whatever that may be, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's a lot of networking groups out there. I think last heard was 9,700 different groups. It's a lot of groups, but they don't do this. And I always say this, and it's apropos for your show. You're not going to marry the woman you meet or man you meet in your first date. You got to build a relationship. You don't become best friends. I don't have Mike as my best friend because I met him 6 months ago. It's because we grew up at the high school together and built our relationship. And I went to spend time in Notre Dame with him. And that's how business needs to look at with all the crap in the world right now, and I hate to use that word, but it's true. What you just talked about, veterans, we need to make a difference in our businesses, right?
Yep, absolutely. And that's the key. Once you focus on the why, and once you focus on the real vision behind the profit, behind, growing a brand and everything like that, when you figure out what you can do with the influence and affluence you're now getting, that's the power. A great friend of mine always likes to say, affluence gives you influence, and influence can produce change in the right hands, in the right people. I'm a firm believer that, God appoints certain people. He's not just going to let anyone just get rich for the sake of getting rich. There's a reason why things happen. And so if you, parable of talents, if you're able to do it, you will have more blessings, more responsibility, more gifts, more talents, so that you can multiply and really have a bigger impact in your communities. That's powerful.
Well said, Stephen. It's so true. I hope we're getting the message across, listeners. If they're interested in network in action, how can they reach you, Stephen?
Oh, they can absolutely reach out to my personal cell phone, 937-308-6941, or they can contact our office number, 937-882-2400. Either one, they'll get a hold of us and we'll get them connected.
Reach out. I mean, if there's something, I'm sure you can come as a guest, learn about, this type of networking, which is way different, unique in its own way. What are you guys looking for in your network? Is there requirements, or that's might not be right, but you know what I'm saying? What would be a good fit for your network?
A good fit is probably someone in business, either an entrepreneur, solopreneur, business owner, mid-sized business owner, anyone that fits under that category, but that has moved away from the boots on the ground operations, right? There's nothing wrong with salespeople. I was a salesperson at one time. Yes, I owned my own company. Yes, I was the CEO. But if I wasn't out there every single day making a sale, my bills weren't getting paid.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. We all have to start there. But for network in action, I would say, even though we only meet once a month, which is a great way for people to make the time to do that, I really do try to ensure that the people in the groups are at that owner level, right? Not the salesperson level, but the owner level. So maybe you have some other people on your team, or maybe you've gotten to the point in your business where it's pretty much automated. It's just you may have to step in every now and then, but you now are in a position where you can focus on networking and having an influence, and not just, survival. Because we've all been in survival mode. We know what that's like. And if you take 90 minutes out of your day, even to come to a networking event where you can grow deeper relationships and everything, that's still 90 minutes. That's still an entire paycheck that you're losing. That's another customer. And then you have to do one-on-ones with people, following up, continue to build relationships. It can be a lot. So that's what I always recommend, is try to find someone in that owner position that is not 100% hands-on.
Is there certain size businesses that you're looking for? Could it be that business coach that works for himself to the guy that's got $100 million company? Is that a good range, or are any of those guys fit?
I would say under the 25 million a year mark, that's typically what we're dealing with.
Gotcha.
Under 50 employees is typically what we're dealing with. There are a few exceptions with some of our groups, but at the same time, the vast majority of them are very successful business owners in a small scale, and they're looking to take it to the next level. So they're looking to grow past, 25 employees, 50 employees. And then at that point, we can always plug them in with some of the bigger organizations across Ohio, of course.
So that sounds like Elon Musk would be out.
that would be a no.
Yeah,
maybe,
and not because of Elon Musk, but it's his times. I want to make sure that all listeners knows we're not saying anything against Elon Musk, you good or bad. It's just he's a big company. Jeff Bezos, those guys would not be a fit. So if you are a fit and you're that small, medium-sized business, If you're not sure, reach out. He just gave you his phone number. You can find him on LinkedIn, Stephen Crane. I want you guys to reach out because you can see the power of what this network's doing. And really, network in action is network in action, but the real key is, Stephen, you could have a network in action group, and if that leader is not a leader and having the servant heart, don't stay in that group. Whether it's, I'm not saying that there's bad, but if it's not a group that fits you, and you're definitely not getting leadership, because I could tell, Stephen, that's what you're doing, just gracefully step out, because it's not helping you. You're not helping the group. I always like to say that because I love what you're doing and how you run this group, because I run 5 myself. I've been doing 10 years, so I've kind of have a relation to what you're doing. But my biggest question I'm thinking of right now, Stephen, why networking? You're an ex-Marine, ex-veteran, well, veteran, not ex, and you had this, why networking?
Networking is everything. And when I first got out of the Marine Corps, that was my first dose of reality of not having a network and what that ultimately led to. Right? I didn't have a solid network of people that I could call on and rely on to help me out and get me through it. So yeah, I did have to bootstrap my way up. I literally had to pull myself from my own straps. And every single thing that I did for that first year, all me. I take full credit. It was all me. From there, once I understood and once I got myself in that position where now I got my feet underneath of me, I need to move past this. The biggest thing that I reflected on was the fact that I didn't have a network. So I immediately went completely nuts on LinkedIn. That's how we amassed over the last couple of years 30,000 followers and connections, and across social media we have thousands more, because I just focused on networking. And when I focused on networking, it was literally never, hey, I need help, or hey, I need a favor, or anything like that. Even though I needed it. And I think a lot of people understood that I really needed it. But in the moment, the only thing I was asking was, truly, how can I help? How can I connect you with someone? I've got a lot of people. Is there anything that I can do for you? And that's what continued that progress of building more followers, more connections, improving leadership skills, and opening doors. Because once you ask, how can I help? How can I help? Some people say, actually, yeah, you could help me with this project, and I'll even pay you for it, but I need help with it. Awesome. Door just opened for you. And then that just compounds over and over and over again.
So you're telling me somebody in the audience that doesn't have a network or is looking for a network, you'd be a great contact.
100%. I'm always connecting people on LinkedIn.
So you heard that. That's a powerful thing. And I hear all the time as I help people, I don't know where to find people. Well, we just open the door for you. How many people in your group?
Most of the groups have about 20-ish people in each of the groups across Ohio. So collectively, whatever that number is, around 100, I think.
That's 20 people that you would meet right away that if they liked you, which they will if they brought you in the group, now that can lead to, I always say one person leads to 10 referrals. If they like it, it's 200 referrals right off the bat. And you're learning all the skills that you taught, that you mentioned, which are extremely important, and you only get with a networking group. You can't do by yourself. Napoleon Hill called it a mastermind for a reason, and that's what you're doing. Right?
I could not agree more. It's a mastermind mixed with some networking.
Yeah. What a great mix. Speaking of books, you have any books that you'd like to share that really helped you?
So going back to, like I said, it compounds, it goes over and over and over again. And the more people you talk to, the more opportunities, and the more opportunities, the more people. And then you just continue to level up in life and in your business. The Compound Effect, phenomenal book. I believe it's written by Dan Hardy. Phenomenal book, because it talks about something so simple of just do one more call. If you do one more call a day, what is that going to look like? If you wake up 30 minutes earlier every single day, what does that look like in more time for your business or for your personal life? If you take 10 extra steps on the treadmill, what is that going to do for longevity? all these things, it's just a little tiny tweak in your business or in your personal life. If you do it consistently over time, that's where the magic happens. It's not one door opens up and you get $1 million contract. It was a bunch of $100 contracts that ultimately led to that $1 million contract. Yep. But people never think about these little things. They're always looking for that major opportunity. The problem is that's never going to happen. The real tangible fruit of your labor is in those little $100 deals that you do climbing up.
So true. And you just described networking. You meet once a month. If you show up every 3 months, no compound effect because they don't know who you are.
Nope.
It's my pet peeve with networking. People will come to me and you probably heard, not maybe you haven't because you have a good group, but I'm not getting any referrals. I'm not getting any one-on-ones. When's the last time you've been to me? I've missed 12 meetings, 5 meetings. Well, let's think about this. If you're not there, how are you going to build a one-on-one? Well, I've been busy. I said, well, that's where the compound effect comes in. I think it's Darren Hardy. Yeah, it's Darren Hardy. We just want to make sure correct. That's okay. We all make mistakes. We all correct our mistakes.
I knew it was Hardy.
Yeah, you got the Hardy. That's the most important.
Hardy.
You did get it right. But I just love in the networking realm how people have to get that. It's not a fit, again, don't show up, but don't expect something if you're not there all the time. Don't expect growth if you're not meeting 5 people today, 2 new people, or reaching out to 5, whatever that is. So I love the compound effect and how you mentioned that. How has it changed your life, the compound effect?
In every way, shape, and form.
Really?
Every single way. Because it was little steps that I took that I was able to take when you start off with nothing. When you start off with nothing, you can't invest in a business. You can't buy a rental property. You just can't, come out with something from nothing. It doesn't work. It defies the laws of physics. You can't do it. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to look for your breadcrumb. And once you grab your breadcrumb, then you can look for the skittle. And once you grab the skittle, then you can look for this. And then it just gets a little bit bigger, little bit bigger, little bit bigger. And then one day you look back and you're like, wow, the last 5 years, I've actually accomplished a lot. The saying goes, people underestimate what they can do in 5 years, and they overestimate what they can do in a year. That's the truth. If you would have told me back in 2017, here we are, 2023, where I am now, I would have laughed and said, yeah, maybe in 2033, that it's all happened. My entire life story, my entire wealth, everything has happened in the last 6 years. Before that, I had nothing.
Yeah.
And at 2017, I had nothing. But from 17 to 23, from just little compounding effects, from little conversations, podcasts with different people, opportunities to network with different people, I've completely changed my entire life. And I've changed my entire last name's legacy moving forward because of little things done right every single day. Back on LinkedIn, 2017, I would send out as many connection requests as I can saying, hey, just wanting to look to network. I'm just looking, I'm just trying, I'm brand new here. Help me out. Oh, for the longest time, nothing happened. It was about 2 years before people started accepting a bunch. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, okay, it must be working. And so you think, right, because we're very egotistical and arrogant as humans naturally. So when you look at that, you're thinking like, crap, I must have did something great and I turned on this lever and now we're getting all this success. And it's like, no, what got you here? All these little conversations, never letting a message go unread, even if it's a spam or whatever, answering them, asking them how can they help you and whatnot. So compound effect 100%.
Man, what you just said is gold. Audience, I hope you heard that because it's simple. Just don't overthink it.
Yep.
We're running out of time, and this is a shame. My clock runs so fast when you're having a great time with a great guest. Stephen, thank you so much for being on the show. I really appreciate it. I've learned more about you. Didn't know there was this much more, but there was. I want to thank you for your service. Appreciate that. That needs to be said more. You learn a lot in your struggles. You learn a lot in your successes. What's a great tip that you can leave the audience that they can take with them and help them, or share with somebody else to help them as well?
This is actually in my upcoming book that's releasing later on this year. It's show me the people you hang around, show me the meetings you attend, and show me the books you read. And I can guarantee you with 99% accuracy whether or not you're going to be a success or failure. So if you take into account these three things with your daily life, who are you surrounding yourself with? There also needs to be a fourth one. What are you eating, right? What are you intaking? AKA both through your eyes, your ears, what are you listening to? What are you feeding your body? All these things come into it because what you put in is what you are. You are what you eat. You are what you consume. And so if you consume crap music, you consume crap video, if you consume bad food, it all goes together. So I would say that's the biggest piece of advice that I try to give people is be very conscientious of who you surround yourself with. The Bible tells us surround ourselves with wise counsel. It also tells us, don't indulge. It tells us all these things. They're so simple, but we don't do them. But if you do them, it really does make a difference. Not in the short term, long term, it makes a difference. And that's what really separates people that are semi-successful to absolute, Elon Musk's of the world.